We're live. We're live. We're here. It's Birds of a Feather. It's your boy Pete. Got PY on the bottom. Got Jake over there. Chuck's up there. Jake down there. There we go. It's kind of cat a corner. Little ranking session. Talking about some wide receivers. Not white receivers. I think I said white receivers.
You did say white receivers.
Wide receivers.
I don't want a white receiver. I'm good.
And tight ends. Pause already. Roll that beautiful intro footage.
Oh my God! I'm embarrassed! He's flying! Welcome in. It's almost time.
Ladies and gentlemen, this show is already off the rails. It's Birds of a Feather on A2D Radio, brought to you by Baggio's Bread, located in Mount Laurel, New Jersey, home of the best stuffed breads, tomato pie, sandwiches, cutlets, and meatballs. Make sure you mention A2D Radio for 10% off your in-store purchase. We are live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and everywhere you download your podcast. So if you're listening to us live right now, or on your commute, or on your way to Baggio's Bread, we greatly appreciate the support. It's your boys back again, the best in the business when it comes to draft coverage on A2D. It's Chucks, it's OG Pete, it's Jake, and it's PY. What's good, fellas? How are you? Some of you, it's only been a few days since I've seen you, but of course, how are you doing? Good.
Cannot complain, my good chap.
Diets suck.
Oh, that's why half the world obese. What the fuck is going on?
Every time I go to the doctors and they weigh me, I feel like it gets higher and higher. My weight gets higher, and I'm like, I thought I was losing weight. Like,
I've lost 10 pounds in like the last week.
Good.
There you go.
Good job.
I exercise. That's all.
Exercise and eating.
On my ass.
Eating well is
That's not my. That's my big issue.
That's the big issue. Part. I know. I feel you, PY. Trust me. I definitely understand. Food is my weakness. I definitely get you there. We are like OG Pete said, top of the show. We are going to go and
he said OJ Pete.
This show is off the rail. I can't.
Pete, we sell Broncos.
Oh my God! Already.
Are they white? Do they come with a wheel, man?
They come with a glove or two.
Anyway,
my boss has an O.J. Simpson signed jersey in his office.
We are continuing our draft ranking series. Today we're going to cover wide receivers, and yes, like I said last week, and tight ends.
This is new information. You're slipping in there.
Ends and tight ends.
Slip it in there.
Just slipped it in there like we weren't going to notice.
Well, that will be what we're talking about tonight, if we can ever get to it. The first half of this show, it's brought to us by eXp Realty. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, if you're looking for a change or in career or brokerage, make sure you contact Alan Foy of eXp Realty LLC at 302-682-8820 or visit him at alan.foy@exprealty.com. This poll question is a doozy. It's an interesting one, and I did it for personal reasons, which I'm sure everyone can figure out why. Quentin Johnston should not be mentioned as one of the top wide receivers in this class. Agree or disagree? The four of us will answer this question organically as we go through our rankings. But all of you listening in, I definitely want you to chime in. Let us know what you think. Let us know if, hey, should he be mentioned up there? How far down? How far high? So let us know what you think about Quentin Johnston, the TCU receiver. And we will talk about him when we get to him. So, fellas, without further ado, let's get to it. I will bring up the spreadsheet. Spreadsheet talk is here. Okay. How many wide receivers did you guys go? So I did 6. I know Jake, you said you did 5,
Correct.
and then
I have 6.
you have
5.
6. Okay, and then people you have 5. Okay, so we all have roughly around the same. So that's good. All right. So for those of us who have 6, which was it me and Pete, right? Did I get that right? Okay. So here's how we're gonna do it. I want to change up just slightly. Change up just slightly for this week. We're going to go again in ascending order. Once we get to a name, we'll talk about it, and the rest of us, we are going to say once that process name is up, we're
We got a
going
new
to
member alert.
re-
New
rank
member
it.
alert.
New member alert. Manny
Manny.
Martinez. Hey, appreciate
Appreciate
you,
it,
Manny.
Manny.
Thank
Welcome
you,
to the family.
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate it. But yeah, once we get to one prospect's name and he gets brought up, the rest of us are going to say where we rank him, and then we'll discuss that that prospect. So, OGP, you want to go first since you do have you're the other one with a 6th ranked wide receiver. Who do you have at that slot?
So I would preface by saying this is probably the weakest wide receiver class we've seen in the last 5 years.
They're all small. They're all
They're all small.
They're all small guys.
Hence Mr. Wing's comment.
Yeah, like it's not it's no yesteryear. Number 6, I have Josh Downs.
Josh
Okay.
Downs. Okay, hold on. We're going to do this. Josh Downs. I have Josh Downs at 5, so not that far off from you. PY, do you have Josh Downs ranked?
I have him. Do I have him ranked in my top 5? No.
Okay, all right. So you don't have, and then Jake, how about you?
I do not have him in my top 5.
Top 5. Okay, so I'm the only one to have him top 5. PY. I mean, no, not PY. Sorry, OGP. Give
Yes.
us your skinny on Josh Downs. Why you
He
have him at 6.
shifty. I definitely in the slot. I have an early day 2 grade on him. Comp for me is similar to that of Hunter Renfrow. That's for me. Which
Okay.
when you look at 5 years ago, if you just looked at a player like Josh Downs, day 3 pick. But when you look at the value of how offenses is called now and the schemes are called now, that's where I push him up to late round 2, early round 3.
Okay. Nice. Okay. I like them a little bit more than you because I think it's difficult. My process when it comes to evaluating the position obviously has altered and adjusted over the years. With so many different molds of wide receivers and roles for all these wide receivers, it's tough to when you rank this position because the team fit, scheme fit is going to play a big part. Like if you're a team that needs a slot wide receiver, Josh Downs is going to be one of the best ones you can get in this draft after JSN. After Zay Flowers, after the top guys, he's like probably right there in terms of guys you want to get. But if you're not in need of him, he's not going to be on your radar. And it depends on how you use the slot. If you're a team that has Tom Brady, at quarterback, he loves the slot wide receiver position, obviously. So that would bring more value. Whereas a guy like Russell Wilson or Jalen Hurts, who more so attack on the outside, outside the numbers, you're going to want to have guys who are bigger and can play on the outside more. So it's very, very difficult when you rank it that way. But overall, with Josh Downs, yes. Do I think he can play on the outside? Probably not. He's more so of a slot receiver. But I think what he does well in the slot is so high. His traits are so high when it comes to that ability. I never thought of that Hunter Renfrow comp. That's a good comp. He's not as elusive as Kadarius Toney, but I think the similarities are there as well. I saw Kadarius 20 comp. I was like, yeah, I can see that. I like that comp as well. So I really like Josh Downs. In terms of all the small guys in this class, except for Zay Flowers, he's that next one up. Jake and PY, do you have any thoughts on Josh Downs? I don't know if he's right outside your top 5, if you do like him, or you just don't know where you like him yet.
Yeah, I have him at number 6 if I was to do the top 6. That's where I have him at, along with Pete.
I'm going to put him at 6 for you then.
Okay.
I haven't really done too much. Obviously, we need to look at wide receivers, but I haven't dived too much into it like I would other years, just because it's just not a need. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like same thing with tight end. Obviously, if we were in a worse position, I'd be diving way, way, way into offensive players. But just due to the fact that we're strictly defense, that's kind of where a lot of my focus has been.
Mm-hmm.
And also, like Jake said, this wide receiver class is not that great after JSN.
This wide receiver trash.
It's true. They are. Also, can we get this shit off my face?
I have to have the full question.
Pause.
Can't we have it off the top? To the side?
I can't move it. I don't know. Here, hold on. I can't. I have to have the poll question though. But I'll
It literally says wide receiver rankings.
I'll fluctuate the poll question. Yeah, if you guys just tuning in, poll question: Quentin Johnston should not be mentioned as one of the top wide receivers in this class. Agree or disagree? All right. So my number 6 then, I'm sorry. Does anyone else have anything to add with Josh Downs?
No.
You all good? All right. My number 6. I wish he didn't get hurt. And he's one of these rare guys. So rare guys who does have size for the outside, and that's Cedric Tillman. He got hurt week 3, I think, of the season. So we didn't really get a chance to see what he could do this year, but he was a monster in 2021. And one of these rare wide receiver prospects in this class who is a threat on the outside. So if you're looking for that, you might see a team consider reaching a little bit for Tillman because they need a wide receiver like that. So I like what I saw from Tillman. He reminds me a lot of a Michael Pittman kind of mold. And so I think that really encompasses his game. Big target, but can move well, good catch radius. And I think it's really tough between Josh Downs and Tillman because I value explosiveness more. And when it comes to evaluating the wide receiver position, that's why I have Downs higher than Tillman. But again, the two are really close. Do any of you have Tillman ranked in your top 5?
No.
Okay. All right. So now we're doing. Sorry, go ahead.
He was close.
Close. Well, where would you have ranked him if he was obviously not 6, but is he far off from where you have Downs?
No, he was in consideration with Downs being 6.
Gotcha. All right. So let's go to Jake then. Jake, you're number 5.
Number 5, I have Jordan Addison, number 5.
There it is.
Jordan Addison.
There it is. PY, where do you have Jordan Addison ranked?
He's in my top 3.
So, where?
Really? Okay.
Where?
Well, why would you want to? I think where do I have him at? I think I have him at 3.
3. Okay, so you have him at 3. Pete, where do you have Jordan Addison?
I have him at 4.
4.
Okay.
And I as well have him at 4. Okay, Jake.
Actually,
you have the lowest out of all of us. What happened?
I said I actually watched one USC the game this year, so I actually did enjoy watching him play. It's like
he's really good.
When they were playing Tulane, I was just like, "What is going
on?" Jake, you're lower on him than the rest of us.
Yeah.
What
so
that concerns you, or what
my main concern is he never really dealt with man-to-man or press coverage at USC. That's been my biggest concern. And I'm not going to get on a guy for his build or anything like that, but he's kind of a smaller guy. So at the next level, I need to see him do it. against man-to-man coverage, and I think at the next level it's just a bigger task for him. Not saying that he can't do it. He was a phenomenal receiver at USC, but that's my big concern as far as that goes. As far as everything else, he's fantastic.
Pete.
I mean, it's kind of the same. It's just not so much competition. Remember, he was a transfer from Pitt. His tape is clean. I think he could do it in the slot. There's another player who I just have a little bit more explosive than him, very similar, who I have ranked higher than him.
I think
so. That's kind of where I'm at with him. But I mean, it's kind of the same thing. But once again, it's nothing. His tape is good. I like him as a prospect. Maybe he goes day one, definitely day two. But I just like the other players above him better for me.
Yeah.
Somebody on this list there's somebody not on my list that's probably going to be on your list.
Okay.
Not even in the top six.
I for Addison, to me, like I've seen a lot of other big name evaluators. They have him at wide receiver 1. A lot of people do, and I understand why, because he's one of the better route runners in this class, and he kind of will remind you of like a oh God, what's his name? Like to me, kind of reminds me of like a poor man Stephon Diggs. You know what I mean? In that play style.
Okay.
He's skinnier though. He's not as strong, especially at the catch point. He's not as strong. Because he transferred to USC, and I felt like his game dropped a bit, and I felt like also very inconsistent with certain things. And overall, I just don't think he has the ceiling. I think the floor absolutely could very well be the highest floor out of the top 4 that I have. But I don't think the ceiling is as high. And for you guys know me, I prefer prospects with ceilings. Like I look at that and I'm like, if I'm going to pick a guy, I'm looking at how good exactly he can be. What are the ceiling? What is the best case scenario that this prospect can reach? And I'm going to want to invest in that. So with Addison, high floor, but I think it's a low ceiling. Safe pick. I do think a round 2 grade would probably be where I put him, because of that. It doesn't the weight. I know that the outlier that Devontae Smith had when we took him was something of concern. However, you compare Addison and Devontae Smith, and it's so easy to tell why you were willing to overlook the Devontae size as compared to Addison. They're not on the same playing field. They're just
plays bigger than he is, man.
Yeah. So you play a much bigger. Devontae plays
very well said.
Yes, much bigger than he is. So that's where my willingness to overlook that size thing isn't as much there. PY, who do you have at your 5?
So take my whole list with a grain of salt, because I'm still trying to figure out the wide receiver position, because I'm just not there yet. I like Mims from Oklahoma.
Marvin Mims.
Yep.
Okay.
He's probably around 10 for me, but go ahead. What do you like about him?
I just think he's a fun player. I like the fact that he's from Oklahoma, so he's playing against good competition. Decent size.
Gotcha. Trying to get to some comments here. I don't know if I'd say trash, but definitely not the Waddle, Smith, and Chase one. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's like a goated wide receiver room.
Yeah. I'll say this though. I think the top 3 are in that conversation, to be honest.
Really?
Me. Yeah. No, not Chase. Not Chase and Smith. But I think that JSN or the top 3 of, I'll just say who, I won't say the order, but top 3 of JSN, Zay Flowers, and Quentin Johnston, they have potential to be not that far behind. But where this class suffers to me is after those 3. I think after those 3, that's there's a drop off. That's where the weakness of the class is to me. But I like the top 3 guys a lot.
It's the same thing with the tackles.
Philly Sports with Bake also says, curious to see how Addison will do against better corners because I think the best team he played was Utah. Yeah.
Yep.
Very good point. Very good point. Anyone else have take on Marvin Mims? I haven't studied him a lot, so I can't say too much. But the little things I have seen from him, I'd say he'd probably be around 10-ish when I look at other guys.
I have nothing to add to that.
Okay. So Marvin Mims, PY is highest on him. We have the last number 5 slot we have to fill.
Buy low, sell high.
Is OGP. Who do you have at 5?
Paging Mr. Wilson.
Ooh,
Michael
okay.
Wilson out of Stanford.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, Wilson. All right.
I'm having Arthego Whiteside flash.
Skinny. Give us the skinny.
Size, true outside receiver, contested balls. You see it. We see what we're getting as we start to trend up, and we can kind of see it so far. Jordan Addison, Josh Downs, Marvin Mims to a point. Shift to your slot, like more slotty wide receivers. But Michael Wilson, man, 6'1", 215. I think he ran 4.4, high 4.4s, if I'm not mistaken. And he's did it. He's proven it over a couple years. Pac-12, while it's not what it was 10, 15 years, I'll say 5, 10 years ago, more defense than the Big 12, I'll say that. And playing in that Stanford system. And also, what's the quarterback's name that is also a prospect this year? It's escaping me.
Oh my God. Oh, what is his name?
PY had just talked about it a couple weeks ago. Wasn't it? The fuck is his name?
Are you talking about his quarterback at Stanford?
Yes. I forget. I can't think of it right now.
I think the only college quarterback I can remember me like randomly mentioning was the dude from TCU.
You mentioned, yeah, you did mention Duggan. Who is this quarterback's name? Tanner McKee. That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not a household name, but I mean, Wilson still put up numbers. For me personally, I just like what he brings to the table, what he could bring to an offense. Out of this group, I'm not saying overall, out of this group of wide receivers, this crop, this is where I feel as if he fits in. For me, out of the tape I watched so far, I'm assuming he's not on y'all boards at all.
No.
You're muted, Chucks.
Sorry, my apologies.
He did.
I do like Michael Wilson too, and he falls not too far behind Tillman for me. I'd say probably around 7 or 8. I would probably end up having him. I do like him. It's tough because like I'm looking at other guys, and it's one just big cluster F. You know what I mean? Like, I'll get to some other guy. Well, after we do the rankings, we'll talk about other guys that just missed it for each of us. But yeah, like there's so many outside of even the top 5 that I honestly don't blame you how you rank them. Like it's so convoluted in that area. Let's see. PY 4. Who is your 4th ranked wide receiver, sir?
I kind of like Jalen Hyatt.
Okay. Jalen Hyatt at 4. I'm pretty sure we're all familiar with the game, but what about it makes you have him ranked at 4 this high?
I think he has all the tools you really need. Like he's got decent size. He's a speedy-esque type of guy. You know, he can catch good hands. Also, I like Tennessee. Like I like big name schools matter to me. Like it's just facts.
Where do Jake and Pete? Do you have Jalen Hyatt left on your board? Your top 5?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Where?
I have him at number 3.
3.
Number 3.
That's kind of funny how we have
Oh
Hyatt
my
Anderson
God.
Addison
Oh
so
my-
close.
Oh my God. Sorry, I'm trying to check something. Is Jalen Hyatt? Is his name spelled IN or YN?
It's IN.
Okay,
JALI.
so I did it right. Okay, I keep
Yeah.
second guessing myself with him. Jake, 3.
Yeah.
Wow. Pete, where is Hyatt in your top 3?
Hyatt is not on my list.
Hyatt is not on mine.
Really?
Jake,
Okay.
why do you like him that high?
Obviously, Blitnikoff Award winner this year, and just his elite speed. He's a good route runner, and along with Hayden Hooker, those two guys carried Tennessee. And to me, he showed he can be a big time receiver, and I really think the ceiling's real high for him. So,
Pete, do you want to go first on why we're not as high, or do you want me to go first?
While Hendon Hooker and him did carry the offense, it's an air raid offense. I'm always a little bit more hesitant with the air raid offense.
okay.
His contact balance, his frame, don't get me wrong, his speed is amazing. I just think that when you get on him and you can press him, and the other thing is he was so wide open. He didn't make any contested catches.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Ball tracking skills, I wish they were a little bit better. He probably would be 7 on my list.
Okay.
I just when all you bring into the table is speed and an air raid offense in the NFL, I just wonder if that's going to translate.
Okay.
Yeah. For me, it's he's a one-trick pony, which I get that one trick is coveted.
It's a nice trick.
But the thing is, like, when you're doing that one trick thing and there's a specific role for you, all right, I have guys like Josh Downs who can do multiple things. I have a guy like Heather Tillman who can do multiple things. I find more value in that, you know what I mean, than with Hyatt. Like I get there's a specific role for him, but that's all he can fill. And I don't see with Jacob and PY, I don't see the route running. I think he's a bad route runner. Not bad. I think he's only a decent route runner. But the thing is, he's more of like a straight line, linear speed kind of guy. He just goes straight. There's a vertical burst is where it's at. Okay, but in terms of twitch, quickness, and horizontal / lateral burst, he lacks. And I don't think he has good hands. I'd have to disagree heavily with PY. Like remember when I told you guys during the gauntlet, right? During the NFL Combine at the gauntlet, when I messaged you guys, I was like, Hyatt doesn't look good in this drill. When you see him constantly have to catch ball after ball after ball, he fights the ball a lot. He fights it. Like, you can tell when the wide receiver has good hands. It's that ability to snatch it comfortably, and it's like you compare what he did to JSN, right? JSN, when he caught the ball, it's like there's no noise. He gets the ball, looks it in, brings it in, and it's like you can't hear anything when he catches it. Jalen Hyatt is so opposite. He's constantly fighting it. It doesn't seem natural. He has to take a half a second to corral it and look at it and make sure he has it before he transitions to the next, or transitions over to the next phase. When you are a receiver, and if you are tasked in doing anything yak-wise, the transition phase from receiver to runner is pivotal. If you are taking a half a second to gather yourself to make sure you have the catch, that can mean the difference between a touchdown and falling short of a first down. So I don't think Hyatt has good hands. I don't see the hands. I just see speed. I just see someone who can run straight really fast. And so I would probably have him around 8 or 9-ish. I see the value of that. And the fit with someone with a team like the Eagles, that would be very intriguing because we do not need him to do anything else. He would literally be fast. He would literally be Quez Watkins' replacement, which I would be all for. However, if he's filling the wide receiver 3 role right on this team, how early am I going to pick him? I wouldn't
Mhm.
want to touch him until late round 3, like a role
Right.
player like that. So
Mhm.
he's not going to make it to late round 3. I'm not saying that he's going to be there. I'm saying that like for a team like the Eagles, where his role would fit perfectly. And we have 2 other wide receivers now who are studs. I wouldn't take him till that late, but a team is going to get him. A team is going to draft him. Like the Chargers are a team that I can absolutely see. Like we need Hyatt. Like they need a guy like Hyatt who can complement the other wide receivers they have already. So, team fit that's going to be a factor, obviously. I think he's a one-trick pony, and I need more out of my wide receiver than that. Anything else you guys want to add or counter to Hyatt? Good. All right, Jake. Wide receiver 4.
Quentin Johnston.
Quentin Johnson.
Yeah. Interesting.
Quentin
Okay.
Johnston.
Hold on. Let me put him in. All right.
Yeah, and I'll explain in a sec.
Why do you have Quentin Johnston anywhere?
I do.
Where?
I have him at 2.
Okay.
Okay. Pete, do you have him ranked?
Mm-hmm.
Where?
He is number. Mistaken. I'm just double checking myself in my head again.
Yeah.
That's why we got to write things down, Pete.
I did write it down, but as we talk, it's just my mind is crazy.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I know exactly where you're at.
I have him. Fuck.
It is tough.
This is where I'm really interested to see how we rank these guys.
I can't believe I'm doing this because of what he out of the group where he was at, out of the 3 remaining, and the office that they played in. Oh, fuck. Can I really do it?
Do something.
I got burned with TCU receiver before with lack of poor
Fight through the pain.
We've done that before. Chuck lives in infamy with that clip, but
if you're gonna do it, just do it.
yeah, he's number 1. He's number 1 for me.
I knew you were going
there. I knew you were going there.
Bro, like the more and more I just keep thinking about it.
Wow. Number 1.
I have him. For in case you guys are wondering, I have him.
I figured you had him 3.
I have him at 3.
Okay.
All right.
If you can make Max Duggan look like an NFL drafted quarterback, you're a really good wide receiver.
Because literally, when I watched the film, he had 1,000 yards.
Mm-hmm.
There was so much more.
There was.
So even against Georgia, there was something out there, and this
Mm-hmm.
Duggan just didn't have the time. He could have easily had 15, 16 yards. You know what I mean? I know Philly sports with Big. I can't, like, it hurts me to do this, but I just look at the other 2 that's left.
Oh boy.
I know he wants him at 18. He wants him at 18.
Want him at 18.
I think so.
That's a good fit, though. That's a good fit.
Yeah. All right. So, like with Quentin Johnston, I think all right. Tell me if you guys would agree with this. He has the highest ceiling out of any wide receiver in this class.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. So that's the intriguing part because the athletic ability is so high, right?
The upside's off the charts, man.
It's so high. However,
The lows are low.
The lows are low. And when it comes to, and this is where I've altered my evaluation thinking and how I've come along. When you watch a person play their position and you can just see they know how to play it, that to me, that's a factor. Like, I think there are elements of Quentin Johnston's game where he just doesn't look like a natural wide receiver, and that's concerning. You know what I mean? Like questionable drops,
like focus drops too. Like he's looking right at him, and they just.
So he is a TCU wide receiver.
Yeah.
It's exactly what Jalen Rager's coach came
Well,
on
no,
and said we were
let's
like 2 years
compare
ago.
He's not that. He's not that.
He's
bad.
not that. Yeah. He also route running is just not there. Route running is not there.
So is Jalen Rager.
But the thing is, with Quentin Johnston, for his role, he doesn't have to be the biggest or the best, route runner.
No.
And if you are looking for an alpha X receiver, like Quentin Johnston could fill that role. He's just got to develop a little bit more.
Right.
And as much as I like that upside, because I talked about upside before and how I prefer upside, the risk with the upside compared to my other two guys is just the other two guys to me, their ceilings are not that far off. They're not that far off. And they're obviously safer. So I had to rank those two above Quentin Johnston. But I do like Quentin Johnston. I do like him. And I should be the last one saying that after my infamous Rager rant that I'm famous for. So like,
I was in the Rager mode too. Don't feel bad.
I feel like I shouldn't even have Quentin Johnston ranked after that because people are just gonna get on me for having another TCU receiver on board. But I mean, if you're looking at it objectively, and I said this to you guys months ago when they were in the playoffs, right? I was like, how much do you guys want to bet that the Eagles fans are not going to want to rank Quentin Johnston anywhere near the top of the class of wide receiver? They're not going to want it. They want nothing to do with that conversation because of Jalen Rager.
Right.
That's just how it is. And but if you look at it objectively, he's totally different from Rager. He's totally different. You just gotta hope that
this build alone, he's totally different.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I want to give him credit. I want to give him. This is the thing. Like, I'm not like other people where if I look at a school, I'm automatically attaching that prospect to past prospects and saying, oh, like out of this school, he's they had this guy, so this guy's not going to be good. Like I don't play that game. I look at each prospect differently. I know other people don't, and that's fine. But I look at each prospect differently. So, Quentin Johnston, wide receiver 3 for me. Anything else you guys want to add with Quentin Johnston?
Like my big thing is with him. Again, he's big. He has the speed. I understand that, but how many guys have we seen that have that frame and have that kind of ability, but they just don't pan out?
Yeah.
And guys I think of like in that category, for example, like recently, I'll go Mike White when he came out of West Virginia. I think he was like a top 5 pick, and he just never panned out.
Yeah.
No, I think if, again, like Chuck said, if he can develop properly and be under the right scheme and with a good coach, I think he can be fantastic. But his route running concerns me, and just like simple drops, that's another big concern.
Yeah. And it's tough because like you can name a bunch of examples of guys who had great athletic ability and upside, but never panned out. But you can also name a bunch of prospects who were very raw, and we just banked on their athletic ability, and they did pan out. Like look at it, and I get I know it's another position. I know he was taken on day 3 as opposed to round 1, so different conversation. But I mean, look at our guy Tariq Woolen. Like, no one was looking at him day 1 and day 2. He fell to day 3, and he's already one of the better quarterbacks in the league because he's just so damn athletically gifted. Again, a little bit of a different situation, but you can name a bunch of prospects who developed and became great because of their athletic ability. And a lot of people, they say that like it starts sometimes with these players. The athletic ability sets the floor. You know what I mean? Like, so if you're not athletic enough, there's only so much you can do. But if you have it, you have more wiggle room to improve. It's a tough call. It's very, very tough. Anything else with Quentin Johnston?
No.
Good. So we're back at Pete, your wide receiver 3, sir. This is gonna get good.
Zay Flowers.
Ooh.
Number 3. Wow.
Number 3.
Whose name isn't on here yet?
I know where you're going for number 2.
Well,
I know where
I'm
you're going.
interested. I'm interested to know
Number
who the heck
3.
PY
Wow.
left out. Jake, where do you have Zay Flowers ranked anywhere?
Number 1.
Number one.
Number
Number
one.
Are you out of your goddamn mind?
Antonio Brown Jr.
PY,
Just saying.
I'm gonna assume you don't have
Let's
Zay
take
Flowers
the banner
ranked.
down. I feel like PY about to bring the energy. I need to
Yeah.
see his face.
Yeah, PY, you don't have Zay Flowers ranked, do you?
I don't.
You're insane. You're insane.
Once it,
All right, cover him back up now.
Yeah.
it's fine.
Send him back.
I deserve it. This will be my most flawed ranking.
It's okay. I kind of want to cheat because technically, I have these two in the same tier. So I did technically on my ranking have them in 1A, 1B, but for purposes of the show, and just so we can freaking do it, I will put I'll pick one between Zay Flowers and the other guy. If I were to have to pick between the two, I'm gonna go Zay Flowers at 1. Really, I have him tied with JSN, but
Yeah.
Zay Flowers at 1. So
Insanity.
we all ranked him. We all still have him around 1 to 3.
Yeah.
PY, why do you hate Zay Flowers and why are you wrong?
I think I just ended up having him out of my top 5.
He went in alphabetical order. His name starts with a Z.
It starts with a C.
Is that really like your only? Is that your really only?
He just I don't know. He just didn't end up in my top 5. Like this is probably going to be like my worst ranking. It's just like I just wide receivers. I just didn't really focus on it as much as I would have other things.
Okay.
Like D-line, like I could probably be like, all right, this guy I love, this guy I love, this guy I love, this guy I love, because I've been focusing on D-line for the last 3 months. Same thing with cornerback, and I like the safeties, and maybe even a little bit more on the running backs. Like wide receiver it's kind of hard for me to look at.
So you just overlooked them, and you didn't scout them at all.
I just overlooked them. Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be guys like that where you just overlook something. Like,
okay.
Don, that's disrespectful.
All right. So Jake, we both have him at wide receiver 1. Why don't you tell me what you like about him, and then Pete, tell me why you don't have him as high? Because I know you still like him, but obviously with wide receiver 3, what is it that made you put him lower than me?
You want me to go first? So is this his build? That's all. His build.
Okay.
His size. Everything else, he's Jordan Addison on steroids, essentially. Like this more explosive, better footwork. Competition, maybe playing out of Boston College. It is what it is, but his separation, his first step is a doozy. But just compared to who I have at the top 2, size. It really comes down to size.
Okay.
He does everything that Josh Downs and Jordan Addison does, even better, and is probably a better threat on the outside because he just has a little bit more explosion to him.
Yep. Yeah. Jake, why do you like him?
And I know, Chucks, we talked about him extensively, I think almost like a month ago. We were looking for like comparisons for him, and I threw Antonio Brown your way, and you lost your mind. Because you just look at his tape and you look at his highlights and you see him run in the open field with the ball. It looks like Antonio Brown. Like you just see him run. I'm like, okay, it's stride for stride. It looks like Antonio Brown, but you see him up close. You can lose him in a phone booth. He's shifty. He does it all. He does everything. He does absolutely everything, and I just think that you want to talk about a guy that has a ceiling. Zay Flowers has, I think, one of the biggest ceilings, if not the biggest, if he pans out completely. But
I know,
coming out, he's a phenomenal prospect who's not being talked about enough. But then I know how it goes with the draft. It'll be like the last 2 weeks, everyone will be like, "Oh, Zay Flowers, he'll be the next Steve Smith or whatever." It's just like that's just how the draft goes. They have to find other guys that are like, "Oh, well, we've talked about Quentin Johnston enough. Let's talk about Zay Flowers now. But at the end of the day, he's such a fun prospect. He's just he fits really in any scheme on offense, and if you get him a good quarterback, you're going to have a guy who's going to make an immediate impact.
Yeah, I loved the Antonio Brown comp because of style. You know, again, I don't think any of us are saying like
we're not saying he is Antonio
Brown.
Brown or is going to be Antonio Brown.
Yeah, we're saying stylistically he looks like Antonio Brown. The way he runs,
right.
the way he plays the game, it's the same style as Antonio Brown. Yeah, the size is a concern. The level of competition is a concern. However, when you look at just his game, it's unreal. He plays bigger than his size, and he's explosive. He's ultra quick, incredible route runner. He may have had some issues with drops, but compared to Quentin Johnston, I feel like Zay Flowers' drops were just him being like lazy. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's more so like how can I explain it? It's more so him like turning to run before he can, as opposed to
he wants to go. He wants to get on this fucking horse.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
So like I feel like that those drops you can excuse a little bit more than with Quentin Johnston drops. They're different types. So I love that about him. It's just all around just so ultra quick. I keep hearing comparison also to Tyler Lockett, which is another really good comparison.
That is a good one. Yeah.
Tyler Lockett, smaller, fast guy, but plays bigger than his size. Like how many tiptoe sideline catches have we seen Russell Wilson throw to Tyler Lockett over the years? Numerous. So like
that was my guy.
Yeah, I love Tyler Lockett, and I do see the comparison with Zay Flowers. So I am that high on him. So to fill in the gaps, guys, we are going to be pretty close with this guy, and I think it's to no surprise. So Jackson Smith and Jigba. Pete, you have him at 2. I also have him at 2. PY, you have him at 1. Which I don't blame you for. Like
I don't blame
you. I technically have Flowers and JSN at 1. They're the same grade.
He's probably like the guy I've looked at the most, just because of like it's Ohio State. You know, he's a big name, and also like he shows up everywhere. Like I won't even be looking at anything, and like somehow his tape will show up, or like someone will show like some footage of him on Twitter, and I'm just like, God damn.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he did, Don. Yes, he did. I was waiting for him. I'm waiting for somebody to catch it.
Yeah,
waiting for somebody to catch it.
I do you know what I do like at Ohio State? There's two positions I love at Ohio State. You know what they are?
Oh dear.
Wide receivers and corners.
Okay.
It's so funny because
that's a soft spot.
Wide receiver, you baby.
We talk about a lot with the other wide receivers he played with before. You know, Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave, right? But I think everyone knows now, is aware of the quotes when they were interviewed. They asked the three of them. They were asked, which of you was the best athlete, and they all looked at JSN. And when you see his long speed, you're like, really? But guys, like when you look at everything else, oh my God, like this guy is super twitchy, super quick, great hands. Like when I talked about Quentin Johnston and how there are elements of his game where he just doesn't look like a natural wide receiver, it's the total opposite with JSN. He looks like a wide receiver. You know what I mean? So
I figured the guy was going to catch a Super Bowl winning touch.
I love the guy. I think that Jackson Smith and Jigba, I don't like putting a label on him as just a slot. Okay, like I think he absolutely can play on the outside. Absolutely. And people keep comping him to Jarvis Landry. He's Jarvis Landry times 10. Like, let's be honest. Like, I get the comparisons because of the ultra shiftiness and the hands, but like, let's also put the disclaimer on that. Like, he stylistically maybe, but he also does a lot of stuff better than Jarvis Landry does.
If you have a career like Jarvis Landry, though, you've had a really nice career. Like,
oh yeah, that is a nice career. Yeah,
Bless him.
no shade at Jarvis Landry, but I think that just speaks to how high we are and how much we laud Jackson Smith and Jigba. I know that his stock and the hype around him kind of lost steam because of this past season, him being hurt a lot, and people kept bringing up, oh, but he's not a great athlete. I don't think that's fair, and it's a part of the process that goes with every wide receiver or every prospect in any position. Like, if you get hurt, you don't play that previous year, your stock's going to plummet, and it's unfortunate. But I hope that's not the case. I don't expect it to be the case with JSN. We saw Chase go high too, and so he didn't play the year before.
Yeah, but his was lack of injury and more like it's the COVID year. I think a lot of people were just like giving them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah,
like when the last thing you see of a prospect is him beasting instead of like him going down, like you just view it differently.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Completely fair. Anything else you guys want to add? No. Any guys you want to mention that just are outside? I know we talked about, like I said, Michael Wilson, who Pete has. He's probably just somewhere outside. Marvin Mims, definitely someone noteworthy. We had a comment here. Oh, SAM says Parker Washington from Penn State. I keep hearing his name up. I haven't watched a single snap of his yet, so I don't.
Yeah,
I'll give you a name. He was close. Mr. Boutte.
Keyshawn Boutte.
Someone mentioned him earlier. I'm trying to find the comment.
I don't like the name.
Keyshawn Boutte. You don't like Boutte?
No, I'm sorry. I'm very big on names, okay? Can you imagine the Eagles draft that guy and he's just like, oh, what is he? Booty.
He's booty. Yeah.
But hey, I'm a booty guy.
Oh, okay, here we go.
I have so many things to say.
Anyway, Don does mention also, man, Marvin Harrison Jr. makes me feel like
It's not fair. He should be allowed to be in this draft. It's not fair.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
I would take him at 10 right now.
Yeah, I can't wait for him. I can't wait.
He's a lot top 3 pick next year.
No question. No question.
So
all right, Hallie, what's trade with Tampa right now? Let's get it done.
It's going to be very interesting because you've got next year you got Marvin Harrison Jr., but you also probably have Caleb Williams and Drake May.
Yeah,
those are all blue chip players. So that's 3 right there, and they're all at premium positions. It's gonna be interesting if they go in no order, but they go all top 3. I would not be.
It's crazy to think that he may end up being as good as his dad.
Yeah,
he might be better.
I'm not. I don't want to say. I think he's going to be better.
With as good as he is in college right now, and he hasn't even filled. And you can understand this. He hasn't even grown into his man body yet.
Nope.
He hasn't even filled out yet. Once he fills out, he's going to be even scarier.
Yeah.
So, and again, he's not a finished product by any stretch, which is also hard to believe. So, yeah, with his dad coaching him when he was young and just growing up around that, he knows what it takes. So it's going to be,
man, they're different.
It's going to be insane.
Other than Rager.
Yeah. Unlike Rager.
Eagle has landed and says next year Eagles will have the firepower to move up to get MH.
We will not. I would love that. That would be so amazing.
We have the firepower to get top 3,
bro.
I don't know. I'm not gonna get my hopes up for them. Although
Jonathan
I would
Mingo,
absolutely do it. If we could get,
I would do it in a second.
I don't care who we have right now at the wide receiver room.
Yeah,
I would absolutely get Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, I would totally get him.
No doubt.
That probably would piss AJ off a lot.
Why?
Well, theoretically, you could move on from AJ if you get him.
Exactly. That's why I said it would piss him off a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah.
That's what I would. That's what I would think too. If we drafted him, I'm like, I guess AJ's gone.
I don't want Devontae Smith to ever don another uniform outside of Eagles.
Howie's not going to let him leave. Howie's not going to let him leave.
We'll see. Yeah,
My guy. Let's see if I can go 4 for 4.
Anything else regarding this wide receiver class, guys? Anything else you want to touch on or mention?
Nathaniel Dell is another name I like a lot.
Tank Dell.
Yeah.
He's so small though. Like we talk about,
he is small,
and then there's Tank Dell small. Like he's
another one. Like when it gets to contact, he don't like it. Like I'm not talking about like getting hit, but like just getting thrown off the routes easily. Like just like him and Watt. Like those guys, faster guys. It's weird that their hips are just so tight. They got like my hips. Like
they're track guys. They only know one speed, and that's straight.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
SJM. Yeah. So Chucks did mention Cedric Tillman. He's 6. If you're looking at the graphic that we have up.
Yeah.
So
I do like Tillman.
It's crazy not to have any Alabama wide receivers in here though. That's like
crazy, right?
For the first time in
like 6 years,
5-6 years at least.
It is crazy. It is definitely crazy. All right, gentlemen, let's move on and cover the topic that you guys or half of you didn't even realize we were going to talk about tonight. So before we do, Mr. PY, can you tell us
PY or OGP?
Or OGP.
I mean, PY can do it if he wants.
PY, you want to do the read?
Sure.
Go ahead.
This week's sponsor is brought to you by Alonzi Travel, specializing in creating the vacation of dreams at Disney Universal or wherever your heart calls you. Let your talented team of travel experts create a custom vacation for you. Hire Chucks.
Hashtag
hire Chucks. That's not hashtag hire Chucks. That's not that bad. You did a good job. Good job.
I got put on the spot. It was not bad.
No, that's not bad at all. You did better than I. The first time I did a live read on our show, on an ADD show, God, I don't even want to talk about it. Oh my God!
That's what I do. It just ruins things.
Oh Jesus Christ! Here we go. Here we go. We're going after Pete. No, sorry. We're going after Pete. But no, it was good, Pete. It was good.
Yeah, no, you did.
He turned into Bob Barker quick.
I did. I put my sponsor voice on.
The channeling is inner Bob Barker. Oh man,
come on down.
You're the next contestant. All right, so
wrong,
this really shouldn't be that long. So let's see here. I'm trying to get the screen up. Sorry, give me 1 second, fellas. But tight end class. Actually, compared to years before, because tight end is usually a shallow class. I actually like this class. That's why I did want to. Class. That's why I wanted to cover it. Yeah, so I want to talk about it and compare who we have at the top. But it's I know that Jake, you went 5 deep. I went 5 deep, but I think there are really I think there are really 4 guys that we can really talk about, and it's interesting because when you go along to a bunch of other things or a bunch of other draft experts, it's all over the place who they have at the top. Like some people have one person or one tight end at the top, and another one will have Michael Mayer, and another one will have someone else. It varies a lot depending on who you ask. So I want to see what you guys think. So Jake, do you want to mention your 5, and then we'll start playing off at top 4?
You want me to just do like 1 to 5 or 5 to 1, or
no, just 5? Who's your number?
Oh, just start off at 5. Okay.
Yeah, start with 5. Yeah.
Give me Tucker Kraft at 5.
Tucker Kraft at 5. I think that is. Hold on. I think that's who I had as well. Anyways, so yeah, that's who I had at 5.
Okay.
I think there is. Would you agree? There's a clear separation between the top 4 and Tucker Kraft, or do you think Tucker Kraft is closer to some of the other guys?
Again, when you're talking about Kraft, you're talking about potential, right? And
yeah,
when you talk about potential, it gets a little shaky because what he can be versus what he might, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what he could be versus what he might actually be. But I think if he turns into what he can turn into, I think it's 5 on down. I think it's these top 5 guys, and then there's like a bit of a, and that's the thing too with this class. There's not like a huge drop off compared to some of the other top positions in this class, but
Okay.
again, this is, I think, is a very, very deep tight end class.
Yeah. All right, so everyone else has got 4, right? Except for I know PY, you didn't do it, so we don't have to do rankings for you. Yes,
I have one guy I really like.
Okay, when we get to him, you can talk about it. Well, we'll leave you off.
My number 5.
Yeah. Oh, you have a 5. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, bitch, I do this on the fly, brother. Shit.
Go ahead. Who's your 5?
5 is Luke Musgrave.
Okay. All right. You have Luke Musgrave at 5.
I have him at 4.
You have him at 4. I have him at 4 as well. Okay. All right. So, talk about him, Pete.
I like this tape for what I saw since we've been on the show. Won't pull any punches about it. This shit is very, very short, very sweet. Got injured though. That's my one biggest thing for what I saw so far compared to him, compared to Tucker Kraft. He only played in the first 2 games this year. Yeah. So, but he came back from the injury. Strong Senior Bowl, strong scout and combine. 4.61 40. I like the height. I like the weight. Arms, I can't really speak about arms because my arms are short as shit. When your arm lengths start with like a 2, bitch, that's
too short to box with God.
No. So far from what I've seen so far, I like Musgrave at 5. I think there's one player that I really, really like, and may shock some of y'all.
Okay, good. Musgrave, I think he does have good athleticism. I think that's going to be his calling card, but he's a little raw. Like that's essentially what it is about him. Jake, I don't know if you agree. Like, you have anything to add?
No, I don't have anything to add.
Yeah, he's a raw pro, not like super raw, but I think like he's a lot to learn still. But the athleticism is there. The athleticism is there. I do like him. Don says, once again, Brock Bowers makes these tight ends look like Walmart employees.
Did a Walmart employee shit in his breakfast cereal? Like, what is this?
Well,
Are you not legally allowed in a Walmart or something?
I refuse to go to a Walmart. So
why?
Because
is it because it's redneck hell?
Because it's hell.
Fair enough.
It's hot. All necks are red.
Gosh.
I once walked into a Walmart and I asked where the fans were. And I'm like, oh, they're over here. And they're like, no, they're all the way in the other end. The only reason they were in the front is so the American flag could wave with wind. And at that point, I was just like, you know what? I hate Walmart.
I do a lot of my shopping at Target.
Target's good too.
Target,
it's the get her done shopping mall. It's what as I like to call it.
I can't do Walmart. I'll tell a quick story. I know we're tangent, but so like I don't shop at Walmart anymore. It's been like a long time since I went inside.
He had to exhale, bitch.
I can't even remember. Long time. But that changed this past November. When we went to Florida, right?
Oh yeah, it's different out there, baby.
Nothing but. Nothing but.
Okay, so we got an Airbnb. So we flew into Tampa, where my brother-in-law and his family are, and the next day that's when we drove over to Orlando, where our Airbnb was. So we get to the Airbnb in Orlando about 10 p.m. late at night, and my brother-in-law and we go make a run to the liquor store because they want to get alcohol and some drinks. So we go there, and then we have to get some essentials for the house, like water bottles and some grocery stuff, snacks, stuff like that. So the only thing that was open at 11 o'clock at night and near us was the Walmart in Orlando. So we go to the Walmart in Orlando. We drive over. It's down the street, not far from us. And I'm telling you, 11 o'clock at night, you would think the crowd there was a weekend at 1 o'clock. It was insanely packed.
It's Tampa. What else do the rednecks have to do?
No, I'm in Orlando. Keep up. So, so we go in and I'm like, this is why I do not shop at Walmart. It's hell. It's hectic. It's crowded.
It's their lack of pigment
all over the place. It's not.
I can't say lack of pigment though, Pete, because my people be up in there wilding out too. Don't.
I don't know.
Oh
yeah, you got to go to a Walmart in Atlanta, bitch. This you see some shit.
That's because Kmart's not around anymore.
You heard what Don said, bitch. Put up Don.com. I ain't gonna say it. I'm gonna laugh if I'm trying to say it.
It's like God.
Shit get real, bitch. Shit get real.
I can't. I don't. Oh my
Because
God.
Kmart's not around anymore.
Bitch, if Cole
You're
sold
not
toothpaste,
lying.
bitch, that's where I'd be at, bitch.
That was like the thing, man. It's like it was either Kmart or Walmart.
He ain't lying.
He's
not.
Right?
He is not lying. Right there on
He's not
38,
right.
bitch.
He's 100% factual.
Oh my God.
Anyone who goes to the Jug Handle Inn probably goes to the Walmart in Cherry. Ironically, I also call the Jug Handle the Redneck Inn.
They go right across the street from the Feather Nest Inn, bitch, right to the Walmart. Bitch.
Do you remember that commercial?
What? No.
The commercial for Feather Nest Inn. Oh my God! It was like when I was younger. It was like I had to be a preteen or something.
So has anyone actually been? Has anyone actually been to the Jug Handle?
No.
So it's the weirdest and most unfriendliest bar I've ever been to in my life. My buddy, he's like, "Oh, there's this great new bar. We gotta go." So I grabbed my buddy Devin. You can't miss him, 6'5" black guy. Like can't fucking miss him. Like I grab him. Let's go have fun. We go into this bar. We're waiting forever, and he's like, "Dude, what the hell's up with this sign?" So what are you talking about? There's a giant sign that says "No colors."
They're
talking. Yes, they're talking about
motorcycle colors.
Yes, they're talking about motorcycle colors, and I'm like, I don't understand the sign. He's like, "What the hell's going on with this sign?"
Oh,
And my buddy who goes there all the time was like, "Oh, they mean gangs." I'm like, "Oh." He's like, "I don't want to go here anymore." I'm like, "I don't either."
Oh my God! Oh my
Pete,
God.
Pete, one of the ones be like, "Ain't you uncomfortable?" No, bitch, sit down and eat some wings, bro.
I asked him. I said, "Does it make you feel weird?" He's like, 100%. Also, the service is shit. Let's go. If it takes me an hour to order chicken wings, I'm like, I want to leave.
Yeah, no.
That place sucks. You know it sucks, SJM. Don't lie.
SJ, you're local, man.
SJ has his night planned. He goes to the strip club and then he goes to the Jug Handle, or
And then he goes to Walmart.
He goes to Walmart.
You want a good bar? You go to Whistler's Inn. That's where it's at.
Right?
I do know Whistler's Inn.
Anyways,
Good ass food.
all right, we've gotten
That's
such
funny.
a tangent.
That's funny.
Let's finish this off. Tight ends. 4. Pete, who do you have at 4?
Dalton Kincaid.
Oh, at 4?
It's a good
Wow.
name.
Wow.
Wow,
I-
at 4. Okay.
I would draft him off the name alone.
Jake,
Dalton Kincaid.
where do you have Dalton? Dalton Kincaid at?
Number
Sounds
one.
like the new transfer kid.
Huh, Jake?
Dalton Kincaid is my number one.
He is my number 1 as well.
Guys are
Kincaid. Now, Pete, I'll give you an out. Is this just the result of you trying to do last-minute homework, or do you really have him this low.
No, it's a combination of both. It's a combination of both. It's a but what I mean, Utah, okay. Some other schools, the guys from the other schools play some bigger programs against a better competition. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. But I always, when I'm even in my first looks, I always go to competition first. After that, that's the next round.
Okay. Jake, you want to talk about him?
He's just an all-around complete tight end. I know people kind of complain about his size and like, oh, he could be a little bit bigger, but he's one of the most complete tight ends in this draft, and you're going to get a guy who's going to make a day one impact. Pete, I know where you're going. Shut up. But you're going to get an immediate contributor day one if you take him wherever he goes.
Yeah, I think he's.
Am I being insulted, or is OG being insulted?
No, OG.
OG.
I wouldn't even call it an insult.
Having any comparisons with Chris Sims is an insult.
This coming from the guy who listens to Nick Wright. So
look, Ricky's on point as long as it doesn't have to do with the Eagles.
No, he's horrible.
He is.
So I like Dalton Kincaid a lot. Obviously, he's my tight end one. I think he's ultra smart receiver, amazing against zone. He just knows how to get open in zone. Kind of like, kind of how like Travis Kelce and Zach Ertz are just awesome when it comes to spotting the space in between all the zones and everything and get open that way. Dalton Kincaid is very similar to that. He's not a great blocker, but he's definitely good enough, and he can move. He's athletic enough, so I think, like you said, Jake, all around just the best, the most all around tight end in this class. Yeah. I think when it comes to being a receiver, it's between him and one other guy that we'll talk about. But Jake, who do you have at 3?
My number 3. Hold on, let me pull up my list again. I have Luke Musgrave at 3. Or no, I'm sorry. I have Darnell Washington at 3. Excuse me.
Darnell's at 3.
Darnell's at 3.
Pete, where do you have Darnell?
Number 2.
Okay. I also have him at number 2. Why do you have him lower than us?
I just like my big thing is, again, I get it. Like, he's a big body, and in a red zone scheme, I think he's perfect. But just as like your number, this is me personally. I just don't see him as a number 1. I could be wrong down the road, but I don't know. Like, he didn't wow you with his numbers at Georgia. He didn't do anything to amaze you necessarily at Georgia. Like, he won't lose. He's not going to lose anybody in an open field or anything like that. But his size is just a complete and utter mismatch. And I think depending in the right scheme and depending in the offense, I think he's a mismatch nightmare in the red zone.
Yeah. For me, I think with Darnell being number 2 has to do with the fact that he adds so much value, and we forget about this in tight ends. He just adds so much value as a blocker. Like, he's an enormously talented blocker. He's essentially like a 6th offensive lineman. So if you're a team that wants to play him in line a lot, you're going to get, like you said, in the red zone, an enormous weapon because he can go out. He's a mismatch in the red zone, and he can still be used in those packages, in those goal line packages. If you use him that way, I could absolutely see why some people would have him, even at tight end 1, because they want to be able to do that kind of stuff with him. So again, we get into a conversation of usage. I think the way he moves at his size too is amazing. I think he's so athletic for his size. He's not like overall in a vacuum an elite athlete, but for his size, you don't see someone his size move the way he does.
No.
That's why I do like it. We sometimes forget, we get so caught up with tight ends and like, oh, tight ends now are like receivers. And they are. Like, you have to have receiving ability. But if you can do both at the level that he can, that's going to add value. So that's why I have him at 2. Pete, is there anything that I missed you wanted to add as to why you have him at 2?
No, you kind of hit everything on the head. Like we already said, I mean, if he played somewhere else, he probably got more exposure. But it's Georgia. He wasn't even the number one at Georgia. I think we're kind of just looking at all of his size and what he could be. And it's really projection and ceiling with him. It is most of these guys. I would like to see him be a better blocker. Would like to see a little bit more. But I mean, just raw talent alone, I have him over somebody that's probably ranked somewhere. I think probably the only name missing on the board. My number one is just I'm just telling you, it's fucking crazy. So
okay, there's two more guys. So I will go. I'll give my three because all of my guys are pretty much taken. Number three is going to be Michael Mayer. Jake, is that who your number two is?
Yeah, that's my number two. Yep.
So Pete, then, do you have Michael Mayer ranked at 1 or 3?
3.
Okay.
You have at 3. Who the heck is your tight end 1? All right. Well, let's talk about Michael Mayer. Jake, I don't know if you want to hit on him a little bit.
Michael Mayer. I mean, he's early on. I think before everyone really started looking at Dalton Kincaid, a lot of people I know early on in the draft process had Michael Mayer as their top tight end prospect, and he's a phenomenal athlete. Great quickness for his size, natural instincts, and that whole thing. He's also just like in the open field, he's phenomenal. And again, you could argue Kincaid and Michael Mayer 1A and 1B because they're both 6'4" and they're both studs. And obviously he's coming from a phenomenal program at Notre Dame too, so that also helps. But yeah, he's another stud in a loaded tight end class.
Pete.
No, I mean Notre Dame they always pump out tight ends, no matter what.
They do. Yep.
Always pump out tight ends. Just prototypical. It's a stud tight end. Probably for me, Mayer and Kincaid can be kind of interchangeable.
Yeah.
But I like my number one who's a little bit better. That's all for me, from what I've seen.
So Michael Mayer, I'll just say I think he's the safest tight end prospect we have.
Okay.
I think that he's not a standout athlete, but at the catch point, he's such a good receiver. Like he's kind of like a Jason Witten in that regard. Like he's gonna catch the ball. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So good at the catch point. So that's gonna have value. And he's a good blocker as well. So he has that versatile. Yeah, he has that dual ability similar to with Dalton Kincaid, just different ways of doing it. So that leaves. I'm curious, Pete. Who do you have at 1? SJM also asks, who's your 1? Kevin Latu from Bama, or maybe Laporta?
George Kittle, who?
I know
Sam Laporta, baby. Come on,
Dad. Okay.
Boy,
Laporta, I do
man,
like that.
listen. Above average blocker for what I'm telling you. 4.58, 40. A little undersized, but he gets in the right system, it's going to be George Kittle running all over the field, and he can block.
That's fast for a tight end too. A 4.58. That's fast for a tight end.
6'4", 250 can probably get up to 260, 265. Bro.
Yeah, that's a good name.
Bruh. Day 2. Oh, Howie, please make my day. Oh my God. Oh my Lord Jesus. Dude.
I don't blame you. I can see it. I'm obviously not as high. So I think there's a little bit more risk to it. I think he's more raw than we all, that I can.
Oh yeah.
But I can see that upside. I can understand why you would have him high. I want to put him in a similar tier as Tucker Kraft or maybe even Luke Musgrave. But I just couldn't do it. I think they're The others are a little bit safer, so that's why I didn't have him as ranked. But I can see it with Laporta. It's interesting. It's different. Interesting. PY, you had one tight end that you wanted to talk about. Who is that tight end that you want to talk about?
Agent Zero, baby.
Darnell?
Yeah.
Oh, I love Darnell. I love his body. I love the fact that he can block, and he's gonna look sexy. He's gonna look sexy in that 0-0.
0-0. We're doing 0-0?
No, it's
Next year.
0-0.
God.
No.
Next year.
We'll add
All
another
right.
0 to
All right,
it.
gentlemen, we ranked them. We ranked both wide receivers and tight ends. Good job. For those watching, yeah, I'm trying to save it, so I don't want to lose it. But yeah, for all of you who's watching, we will have all the.
What is next week's topic? So I'll get it out here in the open.
Yes.
I'm gonna give you 2 guesses. You're gonna need 1.
Oh God.
We're ranking.
So it's going to be Chuck's presenting the running backs, and we're just going to be here.
Exactly what I said.
Like literally, like why does anyone need to talk next week? Let's just be quiet and let Chucks talk for an hour and a half.
No, let's
I don't
all
know
just
about
not
that,
show
but we're
up.
just going to base it off of him. That's
Let's just not show up next week, and then we'll just have
Yeah,
Chucks
come
do his own show, and then we'll text in our answers, and he'll be like, "No, that's stupid," but I'll put it on the list. We'll put in our running back rankings. He'll be like, "No, that's stupid," but okay.
Like, there's no
Well,
purpose in any of us giving rankings next week because it's like
Chucks will just look at our rankings and he'll be like, "Well, here's why you're wrong."
Chuck's is going to do his best Pete impression next week.
Oh my God! I still want your input because obviously,
No, you don't. No, you don't. Stop lying.
I want.
Don't lie to the audience.
So when Bijan's not PY's number 1 running back,
I know.
You stupid asshole.
I know he's
This is
trolling.
why you're stupid, Pete,
I
and you're
know.
wrong.
I know he's trolling.
Your mother doesn't love you.
You guys are going to contribute next week.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
going to contribute.
Contribute to a failing grade.
I'm all over this running back class. You guys need a guest called for that
Guest
to
caller.
catch his breath.
Yeah.
he's offering.
I
he's
can't
offering
talk for
to
2
chime in.
hours, guys.
Yes, you can. Shut up.
I cannot
Yes, you
talk
can.
for 2 hours.
Yes,
Me and Jake used to do 5-hour shows. Kiss my ass.
God. Oh my God.
You don't shut up when we talk in person.
That's true.
Yeah, right. Like me and Jake used to do 5-hour shows. Like, you're getting no sympathy from me.
No.
Don, if there was ever a doubt that there was melanin in your skin, that last comment, the David Ruffin one, my brother. If y'all know who David Ruffin is, bitch, you need to go listen. David Ruffin, that bitch came on it and did like this, bitch. Man, that boy was a problem. Yeah, he was a damn near Temptations, bitch. Blast from the past, man.
No huddle. Anything you guys got?
Nah, I mean, I'll say this on a more serious note. Just pray for our kids in school. That's it.
Yeah.
I won't get into it super crazy. Just pray for our kids in school. You know.
Yep.
I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well said.
And Phillies baseball's back. They blow a 5-0 lead.
They pick up right where they left off in November, bitch.
Yes, sir.
Fucking Nola, man. Where is Wheeler hurt?
No, he's starting Saturday. He's starting the next game, but the Phillies wanted to make him the starter. I don't know why, but whatever.
Continuous.
It's an argument that I'm never going to win or lose with Tom. It's just going to be a stalemate forever.
What?
No, of course it is.
Tom, what do you call it? Tom praises Aaron Nolan, says he's the ace, which he's not.
He's an ace. Like, he's great.
He's really good. He's really good. I don't think he's an ace.
No baseball talk. You've got 181 games left. The one game is fine.
161.
We're the only city that can't handle 182 game season.
181, 161. There's a really difference.
Yes, their numbers
bigger than the other.
The math is not.
Wheeler is a ace.
Jake is fucking stupid. Yeah.
One's more than the other one.
We'll talk about Sixers basketball next in mid-May.
They're coming up. We were gonna have to talk about it
In mid-May. Trust me, you'll see post-game highlights, post-game shows every night.
You'll get the you'll get the whole thing.
Let's see what else. I'm wearing this because it's official. The Eagles are bringing back Kelly Green next year.
Who cares?
Were any renders released yet or no?
No.
Awesome. So when we lose in the first round, I know who to blame.
Tell me if you guys agree with me or not. I don't know if we've ever had this conversation. I understand the hype around Kelly Green.
It's a loser jersey.
I think it's overhyped, though. I think that also Kelly Green has to do a lot with nostalgia and not how it looks. I honestly think Midnight Green is a better looking green than
100%. 100%.
Yeah,
people
arguing all the time, like, no, Kelly Green uniform is better looking. I'd say no, it's not.
It's not.
Now, I'm completely good with having Kelly Green as like an alternate uniform we wear in some games. I am not on board like other people are when they say Kelly Green should be the primary uniform. Hell no. Hell no.
Yeah, no.
Hell no.
Kelly Green uniform is what all the old fogies like Andrew Cataldi and losers like that like jerk off over during the Buddy Ryan era. It was like, we were amazing. What are you talking about? You had 0 playoff wins and your only highlights was beating Dallas twice a year. Like, congratulations.
Yeah, it's a lot of it has to do with nostalgia to me.
To Don's question, though,
it's a loser uniform.
I think the Kelly Green uniform is better than
I like the creamsicle better. I like the creamsicle better.
I'm thinking about fashion now.
Right,
man, that creamsicle, a fresh pair of Timbs, bitch. What?
that creamsicle is so ugly. Come on now.
Get my Warren Sapp jersey out of the closet.
No, I still think the best uniform the
Bumblebee
uniform is the Chargers Bumblebee.
Yes.
Nah.
Yes.
Not for me.
I
hate it. See, I was about to say that word. I dislike to say this. I almost caught myself. Because the best uniform, the cleanest uniform to me in all the NFL is the Dallas jersey, the blue one with the white shoulders.
That's up there.
That's a good one too.
The Thanksgiving one, right? You're talking about the Thanksgiving Day one. Yeah,
I like the Kurt Warner Rams. I like the Kurt Warner Rams.
I will say this though, when it comes to Kelly Green versus Midnight Green, the best thing about Kelly Green, I don't even think it was the uniform on the field. It was all the accessories and apparel. That's what made it fire.
Yeah.
Hats. When you had the starter pullovers, when you had the white with the Kelly Green Eagles, and you had the silver and the green stripes on the shoulder, or which was harder to find was the Kelly Green actual pullover, the starter pullover. Starter, I don't know what Starter likes to do this bullshit where they bring back the pullovers vintage. Bitch, they only go up to a 2X. Bitch, want no dollar menu in 1986. It's a dollar menu out here now. It's Cravens, it's value, shit open to 1, 2 o'clock. You need to make extended sizes, motherfucker. I'm tired on Poshmark looking for 4 or 5X, 3 or 4X pullovers and vintage because I got a Charlotte Hornets like original OG starter pullover.
Ooh, okay.
Bro, fire. But I paid like almost $100 for that bit.
I believe it.
Wow.
I believe it.
Yeah, that's a good. I do get
that's the nostalgia behind the Kelly Green.
I get that, and what I would say too, though, it's never going to happen. This is just personal preference. Okay, I think like the shirt here, the tandem of the pairing of Kelly Green with black goes really well because they offset each other. The Kelly Green is like a bright green, but then the black offsets it really well. If we were to have a uniform where it was Kelly Green and black, like the design was half and half, I would absolutely be on board with that because I think it would the black would make the Kelly Green pop a lot. And if you,
I will say I like the logo, I like the wings on the Kelly Green. But if you did that on a Midnight Green helmet, I think that would be fire.
That'd be good. Yeah. There's a lot of things you could do. Like I just don't think Kelly Green uniforms how they were before. Like, I don't.
Bill takes let's say already 500.
Yeah.
Over 500. Wow, that's crazy.
I believe it.
That's crazy, bro. Wow. Yeah, I get the merch. The merch does look cool. The merch does look cool.
Yes.
I'm
My boy still has some of those toys. They disintegrating now, but they just listen. I know somebody that got like the whole collection of the original Dream Team McDonald's cups, bitch.
Oh,
My mom used to get tired of me, be like, "We not going to McDonald's, bitch. I ain't got Karl Malone, bitch."
Gotta go. I remember going to McDonald's multiple times for the Happy Meals because I needed a certain Batman toy. Like
That was
I'm
the
so
best.
happy with my
That was
Batman
the
Forever cup.
I had to.
Oh, do you have one too, Pete?
Yeah, I have the Batman Forever cup.
So do I.
Oh, I remember.
There's always
that.
like I'm trying to forget what some of the other cups they used to have that were really fire.
Yeah, back
And they
when
used to have some, like, and then you get mad like that one time somebody visit the house. And then, we just got this new dishwasher. They put that bitch in the dishwasher. You'd be like,
my aunt, who does not live with us anymore, broke so many of those cups that we loved, and I'm just like, I hate you so much.
Oh my god! Oh my god! All right, gentlemen.
Back when
Good
McDonald's
show.
gave good toys.
Remember, next week we are doing running backs. Telling you now,
Others,
you guys are contributing.
I'm just showing up. I ain't doing
I'm gonna Marshawn Lynch it next week.
I'm here so I don't get fined.
Oh my god, you guys!
I literally might just show up in mean mug with like sunglasses.
God.
All right, teacher, tell me how stupid I am.
How about we do this? Is there another position you want to pair with running back?
No, we got to get running backs out the way.
Yeah, I just want to add
because that's going to be like a 3-hour show in and of itself.
Yeah, can we do D line the week after that, or like corner?
After that is the defensive player. So I have a really interesting way of doing defense. So I'll talk about it with you guys later on. But yeah, you guys are. We got to figure out a way. I am not talking for an hour and a half straight.
We're not going to literally let you talk for an hour and a half.
Yeah, no.
But you guys got to contribute.
I think we should all just be quiet for an hour and see what happens.
Middlebrook understands. He understands.
Bill.
Yes,
I agree with Bill.
He's shot at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Done.
I wouldn't hate it. All right, gentlemen. Great show. Good job ranking them. Again, if you're listening in, we'll have these rankings posted on HUD socials if you want to refer to them. Give us your feedback. Let us know what your rankings are as well. Remember, we're your one-stop shop at HUD for the best draft content here at the station. To all our sponsors, especially our main show sponsor, Baggio's Bread Inc. UCLA running back is better. Baggio's Bread. Make sure you get 10% off by mentioning A2D Radio. For myself, for OG Pete, for PY, and for Jake, we appreciate you guys. Love the support. We will be back same time, same place next week. And until then, peace out.